Come on, go live. Do your thing. Hello, people. Looks like we're live. Yep. I've got nothing on my chat to see if anyone's there.
No.
And I'm highly presumptuous that Nick's in the background there. G'day, Nick. Speaking with you today. Very glad that you can follow us, Nick. And hope you're not getting too cold down there in Canberra. So you look after yourself. But yeah, did enjoy talking to you today. Okay, I'm back. I've had a flying trip to Western Australia over the weekend to visit my mother and my siblings for my mother's 90th birthday party. So that was very good, very successful. I think it was 2008, but I'm not certain when we're all together again. Obviously missing our father this time because he passed away in 2020. But yeah, with mum and my three brothers and three sisters, we all got together. It was wonderful. I was in Western Australia, the south of Western Australia, down near Esperance or in Esperance, and I travelled. I flew over to Perth, and then I travelled with my sister driving through the southwest to. So she's in Harvey, and I trained down there in the dark, but then I trained back in the daylight, and then we drove across to Esperance, an 8-hour drive, and it was actually quite a nice drive. They've had good rains over there, and obviously I haven't travelled in that time at that time of year through there for a while because it actually looked pretty nice. They've had a lot of good rains through there. There's puddles most of the way on the side of the road. So it looked really, really good. Usually I'm going through there and seeing it looks like a desert. It's because of mismanagement that's occurring there. So I didn't see it this time. But it's a bit of chalk and cheese being there. So, within hours I'm back here. And here everything is sort of browning off and the grasses and the trees are losing leaves and the grass is browning off and where the pastures have been grazed recently, they're not coming back. So it's a bit really interesting to see that change from that to here. Now, Zaya, are you still getting me there? Can you just check? Yeah. So it's a bit cool here, but probably 5 degrees Celsius better. It was cool over there, but it wasn't as cold as I was expecting it to be over there. I took a big jacket, but didn't need it so much. Last time I was over there, I did need it. But it was the wind factor. So there was minimal winds this time. At the time before, there's a lot of wind, and the wind drops your temperature. So it feels a lot colder. I think it does drop the temperature. There is a correlation. There's figures that go with that. Once your wind speed comes up, the temperature drops. So yeah, it's quite interesting to come back here and nothing's growing over there. Everything's in flush, but it's actually a little bit colder there. So it's the species so in the summer over there doesn't get rain because it's a temperate climate. So it doesn't get rain, so nothing is growing and everything's brown. But over here, the summer is when everything's in full flush. I'm just coming out of a flush here and go over there and there's a flush. It's really weird. So you could do the flush thing all year long if you did a quick move, spend a few months here, spend a few months there, and you'll always be in the flush. And it's not that much further in mileage in the same country sort of thing. It's a little bit of a strange thing, but it's a species. And I've tried some of the species. I've tried Wimmera ryegrass here. It's good for a season, but it doesn't seed back down and come up the next season. It just doesn't handle those annuals. While I'm speaking about annuals, a couple of years ago, where I saw the first inkling of this a species of grass that started here. So I say it's a soft grass. It's a little soft looking and it doesn't take much to pull out of the ground. And it comes in the wintertime. So when everything is shut down here, it's growing well and it's coming on its own. I've heard it's in southeast Queensland and north New South Wales. I've heard people talking about it as brome grass has come in. Pretty sure it's brome. I'll have to check that again. and I'm actually trying to encourage it. So I'm throwing. It grows really well in the garden, and I've seen it in the food forest, and so it's probably initiated there somewhere, came in somehow or other. And then I get the heads and I throw them out in the paddock. So I'm trying to get, when everything else is shut down, of the species that are the subtropic to tropic type species, and when they're shut down, if I can have this other grass flourish, because as I mentioned before, the Wimmera grass, the seed doesn't. It might get a half a. It gets less each season after I've thrown the seed around. So you put on bare soil and it comes up in the winter, but then the next season it's not there. Millet I've seen for a season and a bit after. But this brome grass it's flourishing on its own, so I'm hoping that's going to come in. So then I can have a bit more flush during the cold months, which is when I start to run right out of feed. It flourishes in the garden big time. So hopefully I can encourage that to come into the pastures. So that's just something I've noticed in this last, that a significant thing that I've noticed in my journey. Of the change. One, it was very beautiful over there. It's really in flush. Everyone over there is complaining it's a little bit too wet. Do I see it's really doing a positive thing? And yeah, so then coming over here and it's cold and dry here. Mind you, we've got rain coming, so it's going to be. They're predicting rain coming, and I'm not sure how. Of late, they're getting a little bit excited about their rain predictions and a little bit over dramatic, maybe, which gets more views or whatever because it's on social media that you're seeing it. I'd love to have a rain now. It'll warm things up. Afterwards, it might be cold, but having the rain will be warm. Usually, it comes with the warmth, and it'll be coming from that direction, which is from what I understand, it's come from the north east. So it's coming out of the warmer oceans up there. So that'll come down. So I'm presuming it's going to be warmer. It depends what winds do afterwards, whether it gets colder, but will that give me a good flush of growth for a short period of time? That's what I'm hoping for, to get a little bit more warmth, and we need some rain. The top's dried off. Okay, we're really, really wet, but this soil dries out really quick. Hence, I'm trying to keep building the organic matter in the ground cover to minimise that dehydration. And so it's coming up. Hopefully, it'll come up with this rain. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Okay, we don't have any questions come in, so we might change our format to. We're going to have to make a change because this is not
sustainable.
Not really. It's not worth the energy, I don't think, to do that, and you're going to get bored with me just rambling on all the time. So we have to change the format with the online, and we have to change the format with the Q&A. So we'll see what happens with that. So expect a change in due course. So I don't have any questions. What have I got to talk about? I could talk a little bit more about the consultation we're doing, which I can't talk too much about, but that's quite interesting. We're really enjoying doing that. It's bringing in it's asking questions of us that we can't readily answer. So that means we have to do some more study and research on that, which is exciting. We're really enjoying that. And it's hopefully bringing things into a different level of our consultation. So we're excited about that. It's a new path that we're moving in towards. And you make me some food, Zaya?
No, I'm making myself some food, but I can make you some.
That'd be really good because I'm cold. When I get cold, I need to eat. My feet are like ice, which is, what is it? 14 degrees still or something, but my feet are like ice. G'day, mate. How you going? Finn's online, Zaya. So, yeah, he's come back in. And good, nice to hear from you. Everything's a bit quiet, Finn, so throw me a question if you like. And I've just been talking, maybe you've been listening, I'm not sure. Been talking about the difference in Western Australia to here. In Western Australia, has been a flush over there, being temperate. It's probably Mediterranean or warm temperate down there. And then over here, subtropic, and everything's stopped. No, that's all right, mate. That's fine. Yeah, so everything's stopped growing here. We had an event the weekend before I left, and we cut a lot of grass around the place, tidied the place up a bit, got on top of a few things, and pretty much majority of that hasn't grown. It might have got a bit greener, but it really hasn't grown anything in height in probably about 10 days. So obviously it's not our growing season, but it's just really interesting to see that. If I did 10 days in the flush, the place would be a jungle. Our deciduous, in Australia, we don't have very many deciduous trees. Species, and the one we have is a red cedar. We got a few of them around, and they're dropping their leaves like crazy at the moment. So that's quite in, which is great. It's letting the light in where we want them. They will put on greenery, put on new leaves pretty quickly. They don't be deciduous for very long. And some people would say that's a bit late, and it is a little bit late to let the light in for everything else to warm things up. My Mexican tree ferns have still got leaves on them. I was hoping they would drop, and so I'm going to watch and see when they start to come on. I know that red cedar will come on really quick, but the Mexican tree ferns that I've introduced in have still got branches and leaves on. They've dropped a bit. I'll have to check that again tomorrow. I didn't really have a good look today. I just want to see what times they're in full function of leaves and no leaves. It's very interesting to see. So yeah, Vin, you're asking about apple tree mid-season. Now, remember, I haven't had a lot of experience in your climate. So for me, I won't plant an apple tree. There's what do they call that? The apple trees here, the low chill. Is it low chill or subtropic? I've forgotten what they call it. We put a couple in, and we've hardly harvested any fruits off it. They just don't function here. So you're asking a question that I don't have experience with. So if you replant an apple tree in mid-season, so can you just clarify on that mid what season? Mid flush season. So in the flush it should be fine. I couldn't see you replanting one in your cold. So where am I? I've got to get my head around there. So we're in winter, they're in summer. So it should be fine. It should be fine. Well, if you're transplanting it out of its pot, you're going to be doing early, so autumn, spring, beg your pardon. But you should be fine with that. If it's in full sun, so it's not as though if it's in a shady area, that's going to be challenged a bit more to get its root system established. They're coming out of the wind. Nothing was ready. Right, yeah, I think it should be fine. I think I might be wrong on that, but I think it should be fine to do that. That transplanting you put into a pile of soil. Yeah, so they'll let you try not to damage the roots too much, so it's come out of the pot, the bag, or whatever, or it was a bare root, and we put it into pile of soil. So just give a plenty of room. Don't damage the roots too much in that. I think it'd be low risk. It should be low risk. It should be fine. You'll be careful with that. What was that? Come in. Okay. Cool. All good. What else have we been doing, Desire? We're going to get back into the research. Hopefully this week, definitely next week, because Zaya's getting the seedlings this week to replant a section on the syntropic. So that's where we're moving to, which is good. And we have to move into getting some projects done on the property, because I know there's still a little bit of chop and drop to attend to. I'll endeavour to do a little bit of that somewhere, because I know there's trees getting a little bit smothered in some overgrowth, some silky oaks. They need a bit of a chance. So that needs to be done. Hopefully we can pick up someone that's keen to get in there and do that. No, that's what I need to comment on. The crew did well while I was away. The milking is not dropped off. Maybe if it has, it's only a couple of 100 mil.
It was women ruling the farm.
Yeah, so we had women, the women team, a partner of one of the temporary or the emergency women that came over once or twice. I don't know that he did anything. Did he do anything? Yeah. He was parenting the children. So yeah. And he's got Finn's got to go again. Last time was a telephone. This time it's he's got guests. So he's got to do the hosting. No worries, Finn. Thank you very much for dropping in and having that question for us. And you take care and be the good host. So yeah, the farm went well with the crew holding the fort for me while I was away. My dog got injured. I think he might have got hit by a wild pig. That's my presumption. Just he's been very severely bruised, and so he's very sensitive. Yeah, make the best of that nice weather, matey. Yeah. So yeah, get in amongst it. Okay. My dog's a bit injured. We're pretty sure. I've only seen him a bit over a day, but he looks better. Zaya says he's looking a lot better. Thank you for my food. And so that was a bit of a concern. I'm glad he didn't get hospitalised. And yeah, that was a bit of a concern. But all the animals, we are going to have a change around on the cows. My heifer hopefully is pregnant, so she'll be coming back. I was hoping next week. And then I need to offload my steer, and the old milker cow so I've got to wean her off milking, and she's going to go and visit the friend's place, neighbour's place on adjustment. Because we're running the feed as the flush has stopped and I'm overstocked. My cows have grown and my numbers are up, so I'm overstocked. I need to do that before it gets to little feed here. It's happened before that I've left it too long and then other cows run out of feed. So yeah, that's quite important that I get onto that. So there's a bit of juggling going on. I need to put a goat in the freezer because I got too many goats for the space. It was great through the flush. Now it's time to offload some goat. I actually need to put 2 in because the goat feed is not keeping up right now. And also the goats have grown. And if I don't get onto it, I'm going to lose condition on these goats, and that'll be a waste of energy. So they must obtain a yield, and the yield is goat. And if I let them lose weight, then I've wasted energy into that because we're basically harvesting energy into goat flesh. So that's a few things on the agenda for this next week. This week's nearly finished already. We only got 2 days to go. But it's good to be home again. It's good to have a little break and come back and see things. When you're in the space, you don't see it. So it's good to take those breaks and come back, and then you see the changes or the state of things that you didn't realize because you were immersed in the situation and don't notice it. So it was good to do that. But I'm getting to be. I don't really want to leave the place, but because I'm the most important or equal most important element on the property, and so once that element is out of the situation, things can go awry. But it's all good. It's how we want it. Okay, I think I can wrap up. Yeah, I think we've covered our important points. So we're going to wrap up. Thanks for attending. Thanks, Finn. And I presume that's Nick in the background. So thank you, Nick. Nick doesn't have the chat, so he's quietly in the background. Right, yeah, thank you. And we'll talk soon. Okay, bye.